Welcome to Live, Let Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
Of Live,
Let
Thrive. What's up, Myka, man?
I am chilling, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
I'm good, man. This is episode 137 of your favorite Airbnb, STR, VRBO, share economy stuff podcast, mostly heavy on the STR. But we have some special guests today, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have Ryland and Arthur Colker. If you don't know who Arthur is, I've been talking about him the last few weeks. He is the owner of the creator, co-founder of Stayfi, what I've been bragging about. And we also have Ryland on, and we will jump into what he does with Stayfi and what he does with his business. Welcome them to the show.
Yeah, welcome.
Awesome. Good to be here.
Ryland, your last name is Nelson?
You got it.
Okay, because he made it sound like y'all were a couple or something. Ryland and Arthur Colker.
Or
brothers or something. Anyways, we're excited to have you all on. Stayfi. Myka's been talking a lot about this Stayfi thing. Could you mind telling us what Stayfi is, Arthur?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little history. So I originally had a digital marketing company, and we worked with a ton of short-term rental managers like Ryland. And all of our customers we work with, they had this persistent issue of where it was difficult to collect information from their guests so that they could market to them after the stay. So as you guys know, Airbnb, VRBO, sometimes maybe you're able to get an email from the booker, but that's becoming even harder and harder. You definitely don't have access to data from all the other guests in the reservation. So like the 5, 6, 7, 8 other people that are in that party. So we wanted to develop a solution so you could collect emails, names, even phone numbers from everyone staying in the properties. And the way that we do that is through branded Wi-Fi splash pages. So just like at an airport or hotel or coffee shop where you have to log in through a branded splash page to access the Wi-Fi, all our customers use it to make sure all of their guests log in through a similar type of page in order to access the Wi-Fi.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I work at an airline, so I fly a lot. And every airport, they always, if you want to use their Wi-Fi, you got to log into their thing, and then they send you to their page. It's kind of like you got to see their, commercial first, and then you can start using their Wi-Fi, and then it'll boot you off in about 15, 20 minutes, and you have to do it all over again. And so I didn't know. I guess they were collecting my emails the whole time, email information the whole time, huh?
Yeah, I mean they use it for different purposes, right? But for our customers, getting everyone's email in your Airbnb party means that you can contact them all during and after the stay to make sure they come back and book with you directly again.
Love it. So Ryland, you said you have quite a few listings and you use Stayfi. I use it too, but I think you use it at a very large scale. Can you kind of go over what your operation is and how you've been implementing Stayfi?
Yeah, so we're up here in Fernie in Canada. Over the past 4 years, we've grown from the Airbnb in my condo to 100 listings. And we've encountered a few problems in our growth for sure. And one of them was, as Arthur talks about, we do want to drive the direct bookings. It's better for the guests, it's better for us, it's better for everybody. And how can we communicate to them next time, hey, you should book with us? We were, asking on Airbnb after they booked, hey, what's your email? Just in case Airbnb goes down, can we get that from you? Because as we know, you can't get it before they book or after they book. It's kind of a short window to get that. Mm-hmm. And people didn't want to always give it up either. And you did only get that one email address. You didn't get your whole party who, that's going to be staying in your place. So another thing was we had a lot of problems with our Wi-Fi in these units. The passwords are weird. The Wi-Fi system that they have is just not working very well, or, you get these middle of the night calls and, you just have to unplug it and plug it back in and all these issues. And I was trying to find, what's an easier way? I don't want to do the tacky, put the, sticker on the fridge with the Wi-Fi information, which ends up, changing, and then it's, the wrong information. And I tried these, I don't know if you've ever seen them, there's those little like wooden blocks, and you're supposed to like be able to like just tap your phone on it and auto join the network.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was super cool. I ordered like 6 of those things, and they did not do what I wanted them to do. And they weren't even that cheap. So I was down in New Orleans and bumped into Arthur and this Stayfi program, and I was like, hey, this could be the solution. I just plug in these wireless access points. We can, eliminate the whole password thing. I can monitor the internet uptime. Before a guest gets there, we can recognize that there's a problem with the Wi-Fi and address it before they get there. And so I ordered up a few units. We trialed them in some buildings, and we've scaled. We don't have them in all of our listings yet. I've kind of, I'm working my way up there. We're up to about 40 of the Stayfi units in our properties. And it's yes, we've collected so many emails, and our guests are loving, getting information about how to book direct next time at a lower price. And the support, Arthur likes to talk about his marketing side of thing and how that's the big benefit, but for Ma, that's great. But the Wi-Fi support issues has cut. We don't have any of those call-outs anymore. Guests are experiencing better Wi-Fi. This hardware is actually amazing. It's, we have multi-unit buildings, and so they're all meshing together, and the guests can wander around in the building and still be on the same Wi-Fi network. It's been, super valuable. I can't speak more highly of it.
So with you having 40 of them, do you know what percentage are your direct bookings up to now?
I'm really I haven't pushed the direct bookings as strongly as I want to. I'm not confident in my direct booking website. I think maybe I need to go through some of your podcasts and see, where I can get a better one. So I'm ready to do that. So right now it's kind of been, more passive marketing, people just getting our brand out there. When people log in, they see it. And we are building that database that we do market to from time to time when there's, some availability we want to fill. But I don't have those metrics about how much it's increased the direct booking, because, and even if I did, I don't think it would really speak to how much better it could be.
So Ryland, how does it work? I'm a guest. I go check in, and I want to, get on my laptop and get on the internet. So what do I have to do?
Yeah, so we keep our check-in instruction messages super straightforward, with just the pertinent information, Wi-Fi information being that right at the top next to the access code, and it says look for the ferniedirect.ca open network, and you don't need a password. You just need to enter your email name and email address to gain access. We've all experienced varying levels of this kind of service in airports and coffee shops. This one's super reliable. It doesn't boot you off after 15 minutes. I think there's a 30-day timeout that Arthur kind of defaults these to.
Yeah, it's 30 days.
Yeah. So then they're connected, and it's super easy. Everybody just pops in their email address and is automatically connected. We do have, there is the odd device that doesn't like the splash page, some sort of weird, gaming console or kid's device or something like that. And when we encounter those situations, we do have an admin, a regular password protected admin network that we do give the guests to connect those problem devices that may exist, but that's pretty few and far between.
Now, Arthur, here's what comes to mind, because you said anybody can hop on as long as they put on their email address. Mm-hmm. If I'm renting, I'm doing an arbitrage of an apartment right now, so, and there's units that are really close by. As soon as you pull up Wi-Fi, you can see everybody's Wi-Fi. Now, what's stopping from the neighbors from hopping on my Wi-Fi? Dragging down the speed.
Yeah. So when you go to create splash pages in the customer portal, you can place a password there if you'd like. So we typically recommend in a multi-unit situation, multi-family, where you don't control all the units, then I would recommend having a password. If you're doing single-family homes, or like in Ryland's case, he manages the whole building, then a password's not really necessary. So it just depends what your situation is and whether you're going to have a lot of other individuals around. I do see some people, they place an access point like by a pool, like if they're in a complex. And in that case, they actually want everyone to join the Wi-Fi, even if they're staying at competitors' rental units. And they actually use that as a way to collect everyone's information and provide that service. We have a customer in Aspen that uses the technology in their office, which has like a shop in it. So while we don't forwardly market our service for like retail or other types of hospitality locations, we've definitely seen some crossover where customers that also operate those have placed them in those types of locations, as there's no reason why it wouldn't also work there.
I purposely set mine up so anybody can connect to it, so I can market to them, because you have to sign in. You get your email and phone number, and the people next door or whatever, they got to put all that information in there. You can market to them. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, so it just depends what your situation is. And then, the splash page builder, you can have as many splash pages as you want. So Ryland, he likes to have one splash page for all his properties. Other rental managers have a splash page for every different house. And that way you can control which ones have passwords and which ones don't.
I can add something, about this around how our staff can, they connect to this network once, and then their device is recognized in all of our properties. So our cleaner staff or myself going around, my phones are just automatically connecting to those networks, which is super valuable. Another thing that I do, because we do not use passwords, is I can go through the devices that have been connected and see when they were first connected and kind of figure out like, hey, there hasn't been somebody staying in this place for 20 nights, and this person's clearly not a guest. It's probably the neighbor. You can go and ban that device through the admin interface. So yeah, there's if you the passwords aren't fun for guests or our administration staff or support staff or guests to deal with. So if we can avoid it at all costs, there's other ways to deal with the people poaching your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Ryland's a more active user, so he takes some additional steps that I would say most customers don't. But you definitely have the power to do that. And you can monitor, you have a live view of all your Wi-Fi networks. So if you ever suspect there's too many guests in a property, you get a noise alert, you want to see what's happening there, you have the ability to look and log into the dashboard and get a better sense of what's happening in the property at any time.
Oh, cool.
So Ryland, with you having, you said you have a whole building. I think Arthur just said you may have a whole building. Do you put multiple access points in there for speed, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, this building's a bit unique. It's got central hardwire internet that's provided, and each individual unit just needs to plug in an access point. So it's super easy for us to just plug the Stayfi in, and every unit that we manage, we have about 30 in this building. And yeah, every unit has it, and they're all meshed together. So if one goes down, or maybe they get a better signal from the other unit in the back corner bedroom, and the devices will automatically just figure out which is the best one to connect to. So yeah, much better Wi-Fi coverage for our guests.
Yeah, so in that case, it's just like he set it up like a hotel sets up the Wi-Fi. So there's like a central switch in the building, and it's providing kind of a business class wireless internet to wired internet to all the units. Then you plug the access points in, they all mesh with each other. And then no matter if the units are meshed or not, your device will always recognize it as the same Wi-Fi network. So that's why you can even go from one house to another house, and your device will continue to stay on the same Wi-Fi network. You can also, a lot of our customers, not like Ryland, but they may have a multi-family, say 5 townhomes next to each other that all have shared walls that have their own individual internet subscriptions. They'll actually and kind of have a wireless mesh, wireless mesh, wired setup. So especially for people that master lease kind of units all next to each other, there is a great opportunity to actually save on your Wi-Fi or internet bill.
Just by using that one access point. Okay, I like that.
All right, I had a question for you, Arthur, and it sounds like a strange question, and I'm not a super technology guy, but skip tracing. Is that possible with y'all's Stayfi?
What do you mean by
Like skip tracing? I guess that's what it's called. It's okay. For example, I look up something on the internet, and then I go to my Facebook or I go to my IG, and then all of a sudden I see all these commercials about that thing I looked up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if
like
that
retargeted ads.
Yeah. Is that possible with your technology?
Yeah, we're actually launching next week. Well, you could always do that, and I can explain how that works. So the way that you would retarget someone on Facebook or Instagram is you would need a Facebook ads account, and you would create something called a Facebook pixel in your ads account. And if you place that pixel on any web page, you can then retarget those folks with an ad. And you can create some parameters around anyone the last 30 days on this page. Let's retarget them with an ad on Facebook, Instagram, and a few other properties that Facebook owns. So we're about to launch the ability to insert the Facebook pixel into one of the splash pages so that you could retarget everyone through those channels that comes through your splash page. Although a lot of our customers have that pixel sitting on their own website. So in that case, we redirect all the traffic to your website, and then you can retarget them based on that. But we're going to add the ability to place it in the actual splash page as well very soon.
Wow, that's a game changer right there.
Yeah, and we'll have some kind of like tutorial documentation around how to create a Facebook ad and a retargeting audience and a Facebook pixel, as we recognize, most people in the industry, especially people who aren't operating large businesses, they're not going to have a specialized digital marketing person that would know, how to do all those things. So we're planning to have that, helping documentation as well. It's not hard to do with some basic instructions.
That's cool because yeah, I definitely want to look into getting one of these things. And I know this whole show, I don't want it to sound like an infomercial or something.
Yeah.
Because we Myka reached out to you guys because he loves the product, and we're just giving our listeners some great information how they can improve, especially because people, after COVID, everybody got pissed off at Airbnb because they canceled all of our bookings, whatever. And so that's why we want to. There's a big migration to direct bookings, and that's why what y'all's product is so important. And yeah,
I'll also say like the number one thing, there's a few things, so we can just talk about direct bookings broadly. I think a lot of people, they don't realize how easy it is to have a direct booking website. So that's one of the myths that we like to dispel. You don't need to invest in an agency to create one for you, because just about every property management system now, whether you use Lodgify, Guesty, OwnerRez, there's so many. They all come with like a pre-baked templated website. Like I know, Ryland, which one do you use again?
That was Fantastic Stay. Yeah, it was
Fantastic Stay.
Select the properties you want on it and put it live. It was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been using.
Yeah. So you just you can. Yeah, your porter's another great one. Yeah, so you can use go to Fiverr or Upwork, hire some graphic designer. They can make you a logo, some basic stuff for a few $100, and you can pretty much get all the assets you need to have a direct booking site. And then of course those channel managers are going to also connect with Airbnb and VRBO and Booking.com, and then direct booking just becomes one of your kind of options that you have to push, both new guests and repeat guests. So that's definitely the first thing, and we typically would recommend most customers, unless they're very eager, would kind of take the step of having their own branded website before they sign up for our service. And then I say the second thing that we see that people need help with is on the email marketing side. Because I think people get a little intimidated, or maybe they've, it's intermittent because they hired someone to do it part-time and that person leaves their company, and so they're not sending regular email marketing messages. And so we have some services to help people with that as well. And I'm happy to talk a little bit more about that too, just so and give some good pointers around how to email market effectively.
I have a couple things on that. One, I love your integration with MailChimp. And I haven't been on in a while. Do you guys have an integration with a texting company, or is that in the works, or do you guys have one?
That's in the works. The texting is a little invasive, right? So we're really looking at, how do we integrate in a way where instead of it just like with email marketing, I think one of the issues we had is like we integrate with MailChimp, and then people are like, well, what do I do with MailChimp? Because not a lot of people, maybe they haven't used the product. Do they want to set up a campaign, a template? Do they want to do an automation series, which we definitely recommend? I think with text marketing, we're going to kind of pre-bake it a little more. So it's kind of like you can send a welcome text. You can send like a marketing text after 3 months with a promotion code, so that we're offering a few different options as opposed to like just having it like you can text them anything whenever you want, because then I think people might abuse it or spam people, and we want to make sure that it's a really well-defined product that people understand.
Can it send a message that their social security number is expired and they need to call us?
Yeah, right? Yeah, because if you abuse text marketing, people are just going to unsubscribe. And I'm sure you get a ton of spam. I get so many spam texts now. It's kind of gotten out of hand. So we just want to be really thoughtful about how we approach that.
I'm happy you brought that up, because one of the things I'm struggling, because I do collect their phone number, and I was kind of iffy about it. I'm like, should I collect people's phone number? I mean, but people have been putting it in. They don't mind, but okay.
Yeah, I know Betsy Pepine, who you had on your podcast earlier, she uses a product called Easy Texting, and she uploads all the phone numbers she collects into the product. And I know she does some text marketing, so you can definitely collect phone numbers through the platform and use them in the way that you want to. But we definitely want to have some native texting abilities or features. I think the other one that texting could be really good for is review generation. So like an automated, how was your stay? 1 through 5, and if they put 5, then we can send a follow-up text to be like, hey, review us on Google, Facebook, one of the places where anyone can review you, not just the booker. So the booker you still want to send to Airbnb or VRBO or those platforms, but for where you can get open, Google's a really good one, since that will also help your search marketing results for your own website. That's one that we want to help people collect reviews for, because most guests won't review there on their own unless if they have something bad to say.
Oh yeah, and by the way, a quick Airbnb update: they no longer give you the option to send emails, so that's gone. The little email thing, yeah, it's wiped. They just did.
Yeah, they're gonna move everything in their own platform, because
exactly.
Now, especially now they're going public, they need to become as profitable as quickly as possible. So all leakage needs to stop.
I'm gonna go real quick and kind of on topic, but like something that happened to me earlier a few days ago, because I got I'm using a company to do my listing for me, like for the first time. I've always done it my own stuff, so I'm like, okay, 15%, they're gonna run everything. All right, let's see how they do. Anyways, they were talking to one of the guests and trying. Long story short, they wanted him to cancel because this big booking came up, and so they're saying, hey, you cancel and then you can book one of our other places, blah blah blah, and they're saying, well, just go to our website and book it. And they're doing all this in the Airbnb chat, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna get me kicked off of Airbnb, man. And so yeah, definitely, I would not have. I was just sitting there watching it all, and like, oh crap! I hope I don't get busted, man. And they're sitting there, yeah, go to this, give us a call or go to this, and you can book directly with us and save money. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I think Airbnb does not want that, and they haven't told me nothing yet.
Yeah, I say be careful, because they're cracking down on that. I know 2 or 3 people that have been banned, and they've been coming to telling me about it. Yeah, be careful with that. They want to fire them.
I have a talk. They got me a year-long booking, so I'm happy with them. Anyways, back on topic, real quick. So the big question: how much does this technology cost, and like, is there different levels and like for different uses?
Yeah, so we're totally self-service, which is great. So anyone can sign up from 1 property to 1,000 properties and set up the system. So. And then we just have different price tiers depending on how many units are active in the portal. So you purchase the equipment, which ranges from $89 to $109. And then there's a monthly cost that ranges anywhere from $4 to $6 in access point. So, like a typical customer with 10 properties would be paying, $60 a month for the service.
And so, do you also do a thing like the Ring doorbell? It's $6 a month, or if you buy for the whole year, it's only $30.
We haven't done yearly plans yet. We probably will in the future. Right now, the good thing about the monthly is that you only pay for when it's active. So like we have a customer in New England and they're in Maine, and the house is shut down for 7 months of the year, although I think they're extending longer now. So they can just literally deactivate it in the portal and then they'll stop getting charged. So I'd say we're very vacation rental manager friendly, or you get a long-term 3 months lease and you're just going to give them the Wi-Fi password because they shouldn't be using a guest portal because they're a long-term stay. Oh, I can just deactivate Stayfi, not pay for it, and then reactivate it when it becomes short-term again. So we want to be as flexible as possible so that it fits with anyone that's moving between short, medium, long-term.
So the $89 or the $109 for the actual hardware. Let's say I have like 3 units in the same apartment complex close to each other. Do I just need to buy one and I could use it for all 3?
That's a big it depends question.
Okay.
Like how big are the units? What's the building type? We have a long range access point. That's the $109 one that I would say gives you 20 to 30% more coverage than a traditional router. So if your current ISP router kind of works for all 3, then getting this device, you could feel pretty confident it would work well. But there's a lot about buildings and the walls that are going to determine how far any Wi-Fi signal extends.
The one I think you were referring to, like directly across the hall, I think it would work with one.
Yeah. The key thing is if you're going to share internet, you just got to make sure that one subscription, like your ISP, AT&T, Comcast, whoever it is, you have high quality internet. Because you can imagine if you have 3 units and all 3 are streaming at the same time, it's good if your main ISP connection is fiber or 100 meg plus. If you're on a bad DSL line and you have 3 families staying there all trying to stream for their kids, like it could get rough if they're all sharing. So we definitely recommend if you're going to downsize connections, make sure the one that you have is the best that you can get for that wherever you're operating.
Good to know.
So, Ryland, I guess I got to get back to you because you have 100 listings, and I definitely want to know how you got started. So, how did you get started in the short-term rental space?
I always say I accidentally started this business. I had a condo. I used to have roommates. That was the way to be able to afford your first place, and that was what it was. And then I heard about this Airbnb thing, and I was like, hey, let's try this. Let's make this one room. It was this condo has a lock off, so it's like a bedroom. It's like a hotel room that is locked off from the main condo with its own exterior entrance. So it was like, perfect. Let's turn this into an Airbnb. Create the listing, take some photos. It just takes off. Like I am making way more money than I ever thought I was going to do. And I was also working a lot more than I ever thought I was going to have to do. Turning over that room every day, every other day. And I started trying to, look for some cleaning companies, and they're like, oh, it's a 2-hour minimum. And, so eventually, then the upstairs neighbor found out I was running this Airbnb, and he's like, oh, here, can you run an Airbnb for me? And I'm like, I can barely run mine. It's like, it's too busy. So, then I stumbled across some software for mine and, got comfortable with that. And obviously the software is designed for, add as many different listings as you want to. And then I did say to my neighbor, I was like, hey, let's add yours to my system. And, I've got this one cleaner person who can help us out. And that kind of is how it all started. And then, we just started, word of mouth was I was doing this thing. And I was well positioned in this market as there was, some 1 or 2 like super old school property management companies that nobody liked, that people just weren't even bothering with listing their properties with these guys because they tried it, but they had a bad experience. They didn't make any money because the fees were too high. So, those old school guys with the 50 to 60% management plans, you don't make any money with that.
Bring your own toilet paper and sheets, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? And,
well, you should give us some color about the town that you're located in, because it's
Well, Yeah,
Yeah.
Fernie's a small town as well. I'm from here. I'm fairly well known as well. That all helps with the whole word of mouth thing. It's a ski town, mountain biking, fly fishing. It's about 5,000 full-time residents, ballooning to over 10,000 when it's with including tourists on peak seasons. It is a tourist destination. And yeah, we've just really taken off with up to 100 listings now. We're the largest accommodation provider in Fernie. We have a lot of larger 3-4 bedroom condos that when you count those and how many pillows you have, we are bigger than any hotel that exists here. We're a small town. We don't have that many big hotels. So we've just been dealing with growth for the past 4 years and recognizing where we're having challenges and trying to find solutions, and that's where Stayfi really fit into this with, the Wi-Fi issues that my cat is here to visit.
Oh, okay. I thought it was mine.
Let's just hope she doesn't get on the keyboard. But what I don't know what your ISPs are like and the kind of router access points that they provide, but they're generally horrible up in Canada. Like the ISPs are good. They offer solid, we have lots of good fiber here, but the routers were just like dying all the time or needed to be unplugged all the time. And it was, so that's kind of how we started rolling out the Stayfi. Was we identified a problem router or the Wi-Fi that it's providing, and we just plug the Stayfi unit into the router, and it completely solves all the problems. So the problem wasn't with the router; it was actually with the Wi-Fi that it was serving, not being as commercial grade as the Stayfi product is. And so plugging these in, we all have smart devices. Well, a lot of us have smart devices in our Airbnbs, and we program them all, and we set them up to the ISP's Wi-Fi weird password thing, and then their router dies and we have to get a new one, and then we have to reprogram all the devices. And this goes two ways. Arthur likes to talk, yes, you can keep that old Wi-Fi network and keep all of your existing configurations to that. And that's an easy way to get started. But now we set everything up on the Stayfi, and even if we have to replace the Stayfi unit, which we haven't, all of the smart devices will continue to work on that with any device with the same network configurations. So this has been one of the keys to allowing us to grow like we have, reducing our administrative costs with our staff support and improving our guest experience. And eventually, when I like my direct booking website better, being able to really drive more direct bookings with this big email list that we're growing.
Wow. I had to look up where Fernie was. I'm like, I have Airbnbs quite north of you in Canmore in Banff. Yeah.
Airbnbs there?
Yeah. I had to look. I'm like, oh, Fernie. I didn't know where it was, but it's Edmonton. Yeah. So it's like right north of you in Canmore and Banff. I have Airbnbs up there. Yeah. Definitely ski town.
Yeah, totally ski town. And Mount is pretty big. COVID here has been a big plus for bookings. We are in that outside of the Calgary larger markets, and we just had the busiest. We have like 95% occupancy that we ran all of August, and then we ran like 85% in September, which is starting to get in our off season. And I just looked at October. Here we are on October 2nd. We're already at 60% occupancy for this month, which is usually like ghost town, nobody around. And really? So this is, it's been busy.
And also, you're not too far from the border, right? So people might drive over and,
Not
right now.
That's closed.
I didn't know. Oh, yeah, it is. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, so that's another thing is people in Canada, they basically can't leave the country without a 2-week quarantine when they come back. So we're getting a ton of new people, and they live 3 hours away, but we're getting all these bookings. Oh, I've never been to Fernie before. And so, yeah, it's going to be really important that, this is their first time to Fernie. They're booking with us. We're getting their email addresses, and we're going to turn those into repeat guests with direct booking.
Yeah, I'd say, right now a lot of our customers, demand's not an issue in their markets. So we just encourage people like, well, you definitely want to make sure while you're at such high occupancy that you're collecting all the information you can. Because eventually, hotels will become popular again, and you'll want to have, data on everyone that stayed with you during this period.
So real quick, Ryan, then, so you're collecting all this information. You don't have a lot of confidence in your direct booking site yet, but are you at least using it, like sending them emails? Hey, come stay with us again. Do you offer them like a discount, even though they'll book through Airbnb or whatever? Are you doing stuff like that?
No, I mean, we're not we're not doing all the things that I want to do just yet. Our direct booking website does work. There's just, especially with, I think one of the biggest reasons that I'm not pushing it right now, well, we're running like super high occupancy rates, so we don't really need to. There's our direct booking website doesn't have weekly and monthly discounts built in, and that's been very popular. So it requires a whole bunch more manual kind of interaction with them to manually send them a special discount kind of offer. And like Arthur says, is we're getting ready to be able to really push and launch this marketing campaign when we need to, I think, is the big one right now.
Myka, how could he fix that?
Your porter will let you do that. But on the flip side, when you just said the manual processing, my thing I'm trying to figure out with your porter is when I do get direct bookings, they come in through email, and I'm like, okay, I have to set up the code for the all that. Yeah. That's the one thing, like the person, some software person out there, if you want to make a lot of money, figure out how to automate direct bookings. It might be Arthur, but I don't know. Whoever it is, you want to make a lot of money. That's the big thing right now with short-term rentals.
And that's, I don't do anything unless I know I can do it really well. I think that's, another key to our success is, people, we have 100 places and we're mobile. Coffee's been a big challenge. It's like we can't, and I don't feel like I can do it right, so we just don't do it. We make sure there's good coffee makers there. But, I tried to offer coffee and then it was like, oh, there's no cream. And then it's like, okay, well then you got the cream. And then it's like, oh, there's no tea. And then, I don't need sweet and low. And so it just turns into this like
cacophony of complaints.
Yeah, exactly. So, the direct booking thing, I'm not pushing it super hard right now. People are still finding us just because of brand awareness, of course, with Stayfi that we didn't have before. And they are making bookings, and the 1 night stays, the 3 night stays, anything under a week is good. But yeah, just with not being able to have those monthly discounts, or if it's not automated and doesn't fit into the way everything else works, there's a lot of like Airbnb Connect for smart locks, and then that doesn't work with your direct booking. So so we're just, cautiously kind of wading into this, and until we have it like super solid, then we're going to be able to, really start pushing it. But don't do it until you can do it really well. And Stayfi, Arthur's been, he's text marketing, we're going to make sure we do it right. And I think that's why he's being successful. He's what he does. He's doing it right.
So do y'all make a mean poutine over there?
I think that's a Quebec thing, right?
It's Canada-wide.
Yeah, it is.
Like potatoes, gravy, and cheese.
Cheese curds.
Cheese curds, squeaky. Yeah.
It's delicious. You ever had poutine, Myka?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to go next time I'm in Canada. I'll have to look into it.
Oh, it's delicious.
You gotta.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Vancouver one time, and they have all these, it's a walking around city. They had all these little like poutine cafes, like all kinds of different ones. I was like, oh crap!
Yeah,
I'm in poutine heaven.
Yeah.
So you said is the state Edmonton where you're at?
It was the province is British Columbia. We're in the same province as Vancouver. We're in the Rocky Mountains. We're about an hour north of Whitefish in Montana. Whitefish is a popular ski area in Montana. And yeah, we're about an hour from there, and we're another hour from the Alberta border, which is where Calgary and Edmonton are in that province.
Okay, because that's where they had the NHL playoffs and Stanley Cup, right?
In Edmonton, yeah, I think so.
I'm
a bad Canadian when it comes to hockey.
Oh, well, our Dallas Stars were in it for the final, so we almost, we didn't win it all, but we got close. So yeah.
Ryland's more of a professional skier, so he can talk about that career of his life too. So
yeah,
it's all downhill from here. So you're out of Arthur. You're out of New Orleans, or y'all met in New Orleans?
Yeah, we met at the VRBO International Conference in New Orleans, which was great. It was super fun, and I think it was one of the last big conferences before they all got canceled this year. So I'm glad we had that opportunity. I highly recommend next time. They were going to do it in Florida this year, but obviously they got moved, so hopefully it will be back next year.
Yeah, VRBO, I missed it. I wanted to go too.
It was a good time.
And New Orleans is that was a great location to have it. So
made a bunch of money though, because a lot of those people stayed at my Airbnbs. But yeah, I wanted to go next time.
Yeah.
So where are you out of then, Arthur?
Normally I'm in New York City.
Oh.
Right now I'm in California, but I'll be back in New York in October. So.
Oh, okay.
Did you leave New York because of COVID, or you just?
Sort of. I did for a while. So. This was a crazy time. So.
Very crazy time. So yeah, this has been a good episode. This is like I think because we hear a lot about Stayfi, and we have guests from the show, like one guest in particular, AJ Anthony. I'm sorry, what's AJ's name? I don't know. AJ, the one that cuts yards, also the one he's always on Facebook.
Oh, Adam Johnson.
Adam James.
Adam Johnson.
Adam Johnson.
Yeah. Too many guests.
He's getting like 80% of his bookings directly, and he uses Stayfi, correct? I think he uses Stayfi.
I'm at the point now where I don't know all my customers' names. Like I was really good. Like the first 150, I knew everyone. I knew all their problems. I spoke to all of them. But now we're getting to the point where I'm like, yeah. So,
that's a good problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was inevitable. So, like as Ryland said, like our whole philosophy is if you're going to do it, you have to do it well, and you have to research the user, the property manager, so that it works well for them. So we don't just like throw stuff out into the ether and see how it sticks. And I see that I've worked with a lot of other software companies in the vacation rental space, property management systems. Not all of them, I would say, are so diligent when they release new features. So we like to take a more conservative approach and really understand the user experience, both the guest and the property manager, so that it works well for them.
And I agree with you. I really think the idea of Stayfi was just genius on your part, because I mean, that was one thing we've been talking about on this podcast. Okay, we got to go direct. Everything got canceled. How do we collect guest information? We can't do it through Airbnb. And we were thinking of text. I had signed up for Slick Text. And then I ran into Betsy. She told me about this. I'm like, this is pure genius. And the very next day, I think I had talked to you. Or it wasn't
very quickly after.
Yeah,
we like it. Like the core product needs to be simple. Like the simplicity of the splash page is easy. And then it's kind of like layering on those. Let's help you do some drip campaigns, so automate email marketing, or then we'll layer on some automated texting. But the core product and like the value we deliver has to be straightforward, super easy to install, takes 5 minutes to set up in the house, and then we value on some extra add-ons to like kind of boost your direct marketing.
So I have a question. You had mentioned other companies that cater to the short-term rental market, and one that comes to mind, and we've had the CEO on the show, founder, Turnover B&B. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah. Ryland, don't you use them?
Yeah, I was one of their first customers, actually. And yeah, Asaf and Turnover B&B I could not run 100 listings without that software. There's no way. It's amazing. Yeah, I can't speak more highly. It was great when it was free back in the day, but I'm
everything is right
for it now. Yeah, and they've actually created a new kind of spin-off software called Teskuro. It's what I believe is the first ever company or software for cleaning companies. There isn't a specific software for cleaning companies. And so they've kind of built this based on their Turnover B&B platform. And it actually has now given me the idea and enabled me to launch a cleaning company. I just did that last week, ferniecleaning.ca, and we're using Teskuro. We're doing residential cleans, commercial cleans. I just kind of had that aha moment of, I always had people coming to me, other independent Airbnb operators or otherwise, going, "Hey, I heard you do cleaning. Can you do cleaning?" I was like, "No way. We only do our cleaning for our clients." And then, it's a little bit quieter now. So the same day I have somebody asking me, "Hey, do you have cleaners who can do cleaning?" I tell them no. And then my cleaners are going, "Hey, there's not as much work as there was in August." And I kind of went, "Wait a minute."
You can sit in the middle of that transaction. Yeah.
Yeah, I can be in the middle of that. And so Turnover B&B and Teskuro.
How does Teskuro work? Because now you got my light bulb going off. What's that?
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty beta software right now, but essentially it's more. It's not for. We don't use it to manage our vacation rental stuff. We still use Turnover B&B for that, but it allows you to assign tasks to employees, where Turnover B&B is more kind of scheduling cleans with more subcontractor cleaners kind of style, where you pay them through Turnover B&B. So this one's more like you have staff, you assign them tasks for the day, and so you already have this infrastructure for your cleaners in your Airbnb company. And why not start offering those services if you have the capacity to other cleaning needs.
How do you spell Teskuro? I'm actually interested in that.
Yeah, Task-URO.
Task-URO. Okay. Because I'm really interested in that. That's interesting because our last episode, I've been having a high cleaner turnover with Turnover B&B due to different issues. So yeah, I definitely look into something like that, Task-URO. And you're saying, because that's what I really want is a cleaning company. You know, they let them rotate out their own cleaners. I'm sick.
That's what I want too.
Exactly.
That didn't exist, so I had to create it.
There you go. I like that.
I hate to hijack this, but I'm gonna set it. I didn't want to be a traditional cleaning company that has all this bad turnover, and traditional cleaning companies, the model is to make money off the backs of your cleaners and pay them peanuts and charge top dollar to your clients, and it just drives your cleaners to do a crappy job. They don't care. They take their time. They bank their hours. So I didn't want that. Like, this doesn't work. All the cleaning companies that exist, they all get bad reviews because their employees don't care. And so we're going to turn this into a cleaner-owned company, and any profits that the company makes is going to go to the cleaners. And so they have a vested interest in making sure that it's going to do well and they do a good job.
That's a beautiful thing.
Smart.
And
Ryland, you should come back again, and you could do a whole podcast on that.
Yeah,
for sure.
We launched a week ago, and we have like six cleaning projects already. Our cleaners have been thrown into some last minute move out cleans.
It's very exciting, yeah.
Different work, but I just remind them, that's, you get paid by the hour, so get it done.
So the reason I brought up the Turnover B&B particularly, because when we interviewed Asaf, I had a conversation with him actually later on, and he said one of his what's it called, regrets was naming his company Turnover B&B, because it kind of tied him just to the short-term industry, really strongly, and it's hard to expand from there.
Yeah.
And I see your name's Stayfi, so that's that's flexible. But do you have any? Is there any other ways that you're going to use your technology outside of the STR world?
Yeah, vertical creep. Dangerous stuff to play with. So I'd say there are other companies that do guest Wi-Fi, and they vertically specialize. I say there's generalists and there's specialists in this industry. And there's companies that specialize in restaurants and cafes or hotels or stadiums, doing a deployment in an airport, obviously super different than a vacation rental. So we really want to be specialized in short-term rentals because that's how we're going to drive additional value through extra tools. There are generalists. We do have competitors, and I say they're all generalist products, and they're typically way more expensive because it's like could be for a restaurant or a home, and there's a lot more volume in a restaurant, right? And the tools are generic, and they're not going to be built for property managers. Typically, they're also much more technically difficult to use because you could have like an IT person in like an office building as opposed to a vacation rental. So for us, short-term rentals is the name of the game. And I feel like if we ever did in the future launch a different vertical, it would be in a different brand, even if some of the core technology was the same.
Oh, okay, cool. And so let's pretend like I'm Airbnb and I'm calling you, hey, Arthur, I like your product. We want to buy it for $10 million. What do you say?
Airbnb?
Airbnb's calling you.
Probably would not. No.
You wouldn't sell it for $10 million?
I wouldn't sell it. No.
To the enemy?
I don't think.
You get why I'm asking you.
It's too early. It's too. Yeah, I get it. It's too early. Too early for that.
Because they get rid of this pesky thing that's losing them customers.
Throw
$10 million at them. Get rid of them.
The way I view our business, if in the future we were strategically acquired, I think it would be by a larger software company that's doing kind of like the roll up that just happened with like Streamline and Blue Tent and all those people. Because it like vertically would better integrate with like marketing services, website services, right? And we in the future might launch those types of services. So I think it's a natural fit in that type of a business.
Yeah, but I guess what I was getting at is Airbnb just wants to buy you to get rid of you. So
I don't think Airbnb cares about me. So
not yet.
Brian Chesky, right? It's not. I don't think he's staying up at night worrying about guest Wi-Fi email collection.
Okay.
I hope he has bigger problems, so I'm just worried about those. Yeah.
There's one more thing that Arthur didn't talk about Stayfi. It's something that I want to set up is guidebooks. Do you guys use guidebooks, like digital guidebooks at all?
I need to start. I don't. I need to start.
And so Arthur showed me something that he was doing with one of his clients who has, I can't remember what they use, Hostfully or something? TouchStay, yeah. And
TouchStay, Hostfully, BRRRR
yeah,
are the three main ones that we come across the most.
So this is something that I want to do, but again, I want to do it right, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. But I'm motivated more to do it because of the way that I see how it could work with Stayfi is that when somebody logs in to Stayfi at the unit that they're in, you can have it set up so it automatically redirects to that unit's digital guidebook with all of the stuff that they need for how to use the TV and all this, where to go for lunch, and Arthur, you can probably speak about how your customer.
Yeah, that kind of like the ideal scenario that we're building towards. So right now, let's say use TouchStay, which is a popular product. Each home's guidebook has a unique URL, and it has all the information you need about the house. It may even have value-add services that you sell if you're interested in doing that. And so every guest, after they log into the Wi-Fi, will get redirected. Then we've actually helped that particular company set up email automation in MailChimp, where each guest's welcome email, the dynamic URL for that house's guest book will get inserted into that email. So everyone gets an email as well after they log in with the guest book URL. Because for them, for instance, they only send the guest book to the booker. And if they have a party of 10 people and the booker went to the grocery store, the other 9 people can't access the TouchStay guide. And so it's kind of useless. And then they end up calling the management company when they have questions. So we want to make sure everyone in the house has access to the book super easily. And then ideally in the future, that would be one of those things that we would look to, hey, we could set up a text message trigger too and trigger the link, because that is actually super valuable information we would love to text to every guest after logging in.
I like that. I actually really like that, because right now my splash page takes them to my website, but it would be cool if I had a splash page. Hey, you can go look at, here's our other properties, and then, hey, here's the guidebook for where you are. I like that idea.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but next week we're launching, it's called the success page. So when you log in, it will redirect you to your website. But starting next week, when you log in, it will redirect you to a success page that you can edit. So you can have the button for, here's the guidebook, here's the website. And then we also going to have like follow on Instagram, where it will push you out to follow on Instagram in the app, and then they can go back into the browser and go to the website. So we'll have all that fun kind of more social media integration coming. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, this has been a great show, man. We'd like to thank y'all for hopping on. So first, Arthur, where can people find you?
People can find us at stayfi.com, stayfi.com. And they also can email me at arthur@stayfi.com. Yeah, and the way, if people want to sign up and try Stayfi, there's no monthly cost for the first device. So if you buy a device for $89, there's no monthly cost for using it. So really anyone can try the service, deploy it in a home. And if you only have one property, then good for you. You can just use it for free. So, we really just want to get the product in people's hands.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And Ryland, where can folks find you and stay in your cool cabins up there? Or not? They're just not cabins. What are they?
Oh, we got it all. We got condos. We got single-family homes. We're gonna have tiny homes. You can check out ferniedirect.ca. Come stay with us.
ferniedirect.ca. And you're gonna make them a mean poutine, right, Ryland?
Oh yeah. That's something we can do right.
Well, thanks
no coffee, but you get poutine. Right?
Anybody who mentions the Live and Let Thrive podcast that books with us will get a free poutine with their stay.
Oh,
all right,
nice.
There we go. See, now I'm about to advertise you, man. So, hey, go to Stay in Fernie and, get your free poutine.
Well, thanks for hopping on. Any more questions for him, Myka?
That was it, man. Thanks for hopping on. I really think your product's great. Ryland, we might have to get you back just so we can shoot some Airbnb, 100-unit questions at you, man. So
yeah, no, good to share some. Maybe you get a couple guys like me, and we can all share some ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. See y'all later.
You LLT out.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.